here. And it's a big ceremony because the Moi Air Base team will also get an opportunity to troop their colors, to showcase their colors. It was one of the biggest honors for the military teams when they get an opportunity to showcase their colors here in this kind of a festivity. And so today is the opportunity for the Moi Air Base team to do that. It will be their third time they will be trooping their colors, and that is one of the highest honors for military men and women, and the Moi Air Base team gets an opportunity to do that today. It's also an opportunity to take stock of what the country has been able to achieve in the last 54 years, and more specifically what has been happening in the course of this year. It has been a very political year, a very busy year for the politicians and also for the country at large, because the country was going to the ballot after the 2013 polls, and the whole year of campaigning, the whole year of seeking various elective seats, and more specifically the campaign, the vicious campaigns for the presidency that occurred in the course of this year. Now the country trying to deal with the aftermath. And remember, today was also supposed to be one of the, what would say, a very anxious day, so to say, because the National Super Alliance team was to swear in its leader Raila Odinga as the president, and the his running mate in the August polls, Kalonzo Musyoka, the Wiper leader, as the deputy president. However, those plans were postponed. No specific reasons were given for that, though there has been a lot of pressure from the international community, from the religious community, and even from the business community, insofar as trying to stabilize the country and giving an opportunity for the right environment to deal with any issues that need dialogue, so to say, be they electoral reforms, be they judicial reforms, be they issues of governance, and the whole question of inclusivity and good governance. Those are some of the things that we expect President Uhuru Kenyatta in his speech today to touch on. Remember, this will be his first national celebration after his inauguration a fortnight ago, and the very first national celebration in his second term. So we expect to hear quite a number of things in his speech, and more specifically the short-term promises that he made while he was seeking votes out there, and more specifically the question of a free day secondary school beginning the year 2018. The class of 2017, the KCSE candidates of 2017, will be the first beneficiaries of that free secondary education, and that is one of the things that the country will be waiting to see whether the Jubilee administration will be able to fulfill it, because it was one of their anchor promises when they were seeking votes out there. Let me now hand you over to Sam Ogina and Sam Gituku to give you just a bit of what to expect in today's ceremony, and thereafter we'll be handing over to Hassan Mugambi to tell us what is happening there, what are Kenyans saying out there, and what are their feelings, what are their expectations on this ceremony, and then in the next 5 years, insofar as the governance of the country is concerned, and as well as the whole question of trying to unite a country that has been badly bruised by vicious political competition in the last 1 year or so. Sam Ogina, Sam Gituku, over to you.
Well, thank you, Francis. Of course, I'm here with my colleague Sam Ogina. We've been here since morning hours, and it's getting hotter as the days goes by. But also the number of people who are attending this ceremony has also been increasing. Of course, compared to what we witnessed on the inauguration day, the numbers are literally they're way much lower because of the persons expressing their interest to be getting into the auditorium. And what we know so far is that the function has been set to begin at about 10:30. So talking about 17 minutes or so, but of course the event will officially begin as soon as President Uhuru Kenyatta makes his way, when he is expected to have that lap of honor greeting the Kenyans who will be attending this event. And also what we also know is that compared to what we witnessed on the inauguration day, which is about 14 days ago, the number of foreign dignitaries has greatly reduced, because this time round what we're expecting, the communication we have is that former President of Ghana, that is John Mahama, will be making his way, but there is no confirmation or information on attendance of any sitting president from the East African region, as well as the African continent and even beyond. So these are just some of the changes that we'll be expecting to see here. But as I recall, there has been a situation in the country, even as we have this 54th Jamhuri Day, and there has been the talks of having a dialogue, something that the president is not comfortable with. The opposition indicating that they want to have that dialogue, not to share power, but essentially to look on how to rectify some of the ills that face the country.
Well, Gituku, precisely so, and of course these celebrations actually come against a backdrop of a threat by the opposition to actually hold their parallel swearing in. Of course, that was postponed to the detriment of the opposition supporters, of course, very annoyed by that move from their principals. And as you said, even the foreign dignitaries and business community and clergy as well made forays to the opposition leadership, trying to see if at all they can actually hammer dialogue between these two sides, that is the opposition and the ruling administration. They met the opposition, I believe, on Friday, whereby the opposition registered what they feel really are grounds that are supposed to be looked into, and that is a constitutional review, saying that also they need to strengthen devolution, increase the county allocations from 15% to 45%, and saying that these actually are the minimum grounds that they will be looking at if at all they are going to have any form of dialogue with government. Of course, the envoys and the clergy were supposed to secure a meeting with the president. That was yesterday, but that did not happen. And of course, yesterday we heard what the president said, that the only dialogue that he can actually have with the opposition is dialogue to develop the country. He's not ready to sit down with the opposition and have dialogue, maybe to share power or restructure government, as it were. Actually telling them off that any sort of that discussion, then they should wait for 2022 and have that discussion with William Ruto, essentially telling them that if at all it comes to forming of government and restructuring of government, then there is a discussion of 2022 when the opposition and the Jubilee administration, or then presidential candidate, if at all it will be William Ruto, that is the discussion that they can have at that particular time. As it sits right now, the only discussion that is open to is discussion to develop the country. Of course, saying that Kenyans are tired of politicking, and Kenyans are tired of the opposition gimmicks, the opposition grandstanding on various issues, and of course just saying that it is about time that the country now moves forward. And of course, what we'll be looking at in the near future is the president's entry. Remember, of course, one of the issues that he has to deal with is formation of his government, formation of cabinet. Of course, that is something that we'll be waiting keenly to see what the president does and the deputy president, really. But right now, we also have our own Hassan Mugambi. He's seated where at the terraces, I believe, and just to bring us to speed on the pulse of today's Madaraka Day, Jamhuri Day celebrations, I hand over to you, Hassan Mugambi. Take it away.
Well, indeed, Sam, as he prepares to take it away, Hassan Mugambi, who has been mingling with the Kenyans who have come here to witness this occasion, and as I was saying that the number of persons who attended the inauguration, if you compare it to what we have today, is greatly a great contrast. But you can attribute it to the situation that we had on that very day, because I remember that time there are difficulties for persons who wanted to access the Kasarani Stadium itself, and some of them received a beating from the police, bearing in mind that they were trying to maintain order. So I don't know, Hassan, if you can hear me. I can see him dancing somewhere. Hassan, if you can hear me, maybe tell us what the persons attending this event are telling you. Hassan?
Kwani hali mko na hoi hizo jamii ya Kiluya ambazo zimekuwa zikipiga hapa katika uga huu wa Kasarani. Wananchi wamejitokeza, wapo katika eneo hili na matumaini mengi ya kusikia kile ambacho rais anasema katika maadhimisho ya sikukuu hii ya Jamhuri hapa katika uga wa Kasarani.
Bwana mmoja kutoka jimbo la
sherehe hizi kuwepo hapa, lakini vivyo hivyo meona wamejitokeza hapo hapa katika eneo hili, kwa tunazungumza na baadhi yao ile katika siku hii ya katika siku hii ya Jamhuri, na nitakuwa nasema na mmoja wawili karibu hapa. Hujambo?
Mzuri sana.
Yes, mimi najulikana kama Mugambi kutoka Citizen TV.
Thank you, Hassan, for your conversations with the persons, of course, attending this event. And Sam, as you are talking about the entry for the president, bearing in mind that it's 2 weeks since the inauguration, that was on 20th of November. So 2 weeks down the line, the president is yet to constitute his new cabinet, is yet to appoint, or rather nominate his new CSs. Of course, it's a very long process. But basically, maybe you can focus on the real thing that the president should be talking about, because I remember on the inauguration day, he singled out 4 issues that are keen to his second term. And first of all, he spoke about ensuring that there is universal access to healthcare, and